Hey, Mike DeMora here, and I'm in the beautiful Redondo Beach, California, in our NCEP Fitness office. Thanks for coming to this week's blog. This week I really wanted to just kind of go back to some of the basics. Look, guys, we've been going over some real fancy stuff and doing some exercise therapy here and there, but I wanted to stop to get to the basics for a second. So what I did is I just went to YouTube and I just put in fitness, and I wanted to see what would come up. What's going on in today's world in fitness, and what are people doing? And I got this English guy, and he was doing this workout thing with two other people, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna watch this for about 10 minutes and see what he's doing. Pretty interesting. And what makes it more interesting is it said beginning level. Now, I will credit the gentleman because he kept saying, go at your own level, go at your own level, go at your own level. This is just a beginning course or what have you. But I want to stop a second and see, what is it that we were taught here in the NCEP about a beginning level? So I got to really thinking about our NCEP levels of cardiovascular conditioning, right? And so if we look at the cardiovascular conditioning levels, level 1 is what? It's called the testing phase. So after you've tested and you've found your numbers, now that's going to be a really, really key point. What numbers are you trying to find? What numbers would help you in a workout? What numbers should you always know when you're working out? Well, what you need to know is what your quote-unquote safety zone is, or when you are still aerobic. When you're still aerobic, aerobic by definition means what? That you have plenty of oxygen available for your workout, and your body is using oxygen and burning fat for its fuel to create ATP. Okay, now I hope all those terms make sense to you. If not, we're going to have to break them down individually in a different session or what have you. But if you go back to the standard videos, it'll go over all that stuff. But we're just trying to make sure we understand. So you need to know what your quote unquote aerobic level is, right? Now the next number that you need to know is your anaerobic level. What does that mean? Your anaerobic threshold means the time where you start to not have enough oxygen available. It means you're anaerobic. Anaerobic means, by definition, not enough oxygen. So you need to know that number. When is it that you become anaerobic? Now, here's the key to all success when it comes to cardiovascular conditioning. And this is what people miss, and I don't understand it. If you are a beginner, you should start at a 1-to-3 ratio, a 1-to-3 ratio. In other words, for every one that you are on, or every one that you're at a higher level, you need to drop back down for 3. So once again, if we're doing 30 seconds on at your anaerobic level, you need to drop down to a minute and a half where you're in your aerobic level. That way your body actually recovers. So why am I going over this? Well, I'm watching this video and this guy's doing all these movements and blah, blah, blah. And once again, I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for actually mentioning, oh, by the way, do this at your pace, do it what you can, don't work out too hard, don't pass out, don't worry. Okay, great, that's all good. But here's the interesting thing. He said he's going to start this thing called Tabata, which I always thought it was called Tabata, but whatever. And what he does is he went 30 seconds on and then 10 seconds off. Now, if you're a beginner and you're only off 10 seconds, do you think your body even has a chance to drop back down into an aerobic zone? Well, I'm going to tell you emphatically no. So taking that 10 seconds off doesn't bring you into your safety zone. It doesn't bring you into your aerobic zone. So your body never recovers. So if you're going to go up for 30 seconds, down for 10, back up for 30 seconds, down for 10, back up for 30, do you realize you're basically not getting a break? Now, even though you're bringing your arms down and you're stopping for 10 seconds, your heart is not getting a break. So it's as if your body is anaerobic for the entire time. That's not the definition of anaerobic. In fact, anaerobic is supposed to be for a temporary time because you don't have enough oxygen. So now if you don't have enough oxygen and you're huffing and puffing and you're trying to catch your breath, what's going to happen is your heart has to go faster and faster and faster. Now here's the key. Do you think this gentleman spoke at all about heart rate? Do you think the individuals that are doing it at home or even with him on studio have a heart rate monitor? No, they do not. So they have no idea how fast their heart rate's going. They have no idea what level they're training at, and they have no idea if they're even safe doing it. I'm sorry, that is not the definition of good fitness training. Please don't do that to your clients. Please don't do that to your clients. Please don't do that to your clients. I'm going to go over the way you should do it, right? Remember, level 1 is the testing phase. You're bringing them up. Once you find where they get out of breath means that they cannot say 4 words without gasping for air. That is what we call your anaerobic threshold. Sure, that is not what we call technical, right? It's not exactly. But guys, look, if you're not going to pay a couple $100 to go get your anaerobic threshold test, it's about as close as you can to getting real and having real results. Once you know your anaerobic threshold, you know that if you go over that anaerobic threshold, you need to then pass back down into your aerobic capacity for 3 times the amount of time that you are one above. Guys, this isn't happening across the world, across the steps, across the classes that I watch. It is not happening. And so the individuals are never getting a chance to actually recover. These are the people who are in class day after day after day after day, and they don't look any better. I'm not trying to be mean, but you'll see the people, they come in 20 pounds heavy, and you know what? 1 year later, they're still 18 and a half or 19 and a half pounds heavy, if not 25, because they might have actually been injured, not been able to do anything, and now they're actually gaining more weight than when they started. Guys, if you're not knowing your numbers, then you're just guessing. You're closing your eyes and throwing a dart at a dartboard and hoping that it works. And that's why if you have a class of 20, 3 or 4 are getting in great shape and 16 of them aren't. Because you're not giving them any time to recover, and their heart actually isn't getting into better condition. In fact, it's actually weakening because it's being worked so hard it can't keep up with the pace. So I beg of you, understand cardiovascular conditioning. It is a huge facet of training. 1-to-3 ratio. 1-to-3 ratio. Start with. Work yourself to a 1-to-2. Work yourself to a 1-to-1. And most people will never get past a 1-to-1 ratio because that's already being very, very aggressive. Very aggressive. All right, I've rambled. I'll stop now. Have a great day. Sorry if I went over. See you next week. God bless.